Welcome to Gene and Mike do the New York Times crossword.
Hi, I'm Jean.
And I'm Mike. And today we are doing the crossword for Thursday, December 5th, 2024. So, did you do the crossword?
I did do the crossword.
And did you find it to be a splendid Thursday?
It was a splendid Thursday. I guess you could call it that, yes.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other terms you could use to characterize it?
It was expedient.
It was expedient?
That's a term.
Well, it is a term. I'm not sure if it belongs here, but but you did it expeditiously.
I did do it expeditiously. Yes.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did it in about a third of the time I did yesterday's.
Oh.
So I feel pretty good about that.
Uh-huh.
Actually, less than a third of the time I did yesterday's.
Yes.
So at this rate, I'll do tomorrow's before it's even out.
Nah, tomorrow's Friday.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, Wednesday for me was just because I knew someone named Jim Parr. It's a long story, listeners. Go back to yesterday's episode for all the details. Mm-hmm. But let's talk about this one.
Okie doke. This one had a rather interesting theme.
Yes.
I always admire people whose minds can think of things like this theme. Mm-hmm. It's just like, I'm like, how in the world did you ever think of that? But anyway, there were 5 themed clues, and you knew they were themed clues because they had shaded squares in the middle of them. And the whole gist of the theme was you had to remove those shaded squares and move them to the front, and then the answer would make sense with the clue. So, for example, the first one was 17 across, past issues to settle. The answer was cold sores, but the OLD of cold and the S of sores were shaded. So if you take that OLDS out and you put it in front of the rest of the letters, you get old scores, which are past
issues to settle. Right.
Yeah. The next one was 26 across, places in the pecking order. And the answer to that was U.S. states. But you had to take the STAT out and put it in front. Those were the shaded squares, STAT. Put it in front, and you have statuses, right? Yes, statuses, which are places in the pecking order.
Right.
Then we had a 38 across. Big Bash turned out to be dishing, although the SHIN of dishing was shaded, so that went to the front. And it turned into a shindig, which is a big bash. 40 across, breaking down grammatically, was sparring with the PAR shaded. Take it out, put it in front, and you get parsing, which is, of course, breaking down grammatically.
Right.
And then finally, 48 across, which was like much a movie theater popcorn, and the answer was rebutted. But there, you take the BUTTE out and put it in front, and it turns out to be buttered. So that was the theme of the puzzle, and all of these were words within words, right? Because you had olds, you had stat. I guess stat isn't really a word. It's but it's in the crossword a lot. You had a shin, you had par, and you had butte, all as shaded squares that had to be removed and then put to the front to actually answer the clue.
Yes.
So ingenious.
Yep, indeed. Mm-hmm. And this actually helped me solve the crossword. Because once I understood what was going on, it was just like, I just need to figure out what the clue is and then split it apart differently. And so, for example, the 48 across, like much movie theater popcorn, I knew immediately was buttered. And it's just like, I see, I got to put the BUTTE in. And I discovered rebutted as a result.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
I like it when a theme actually helps, rather than you just fail to notice it or it hinders,
right?
As is sometimes the case.
So
I'd like to just give a shout out to shindig, because I just think that's a great word. One of those old-timey words.
Yeah, an
shindig.
old-timey word.
Yep.
Let's have a shindig.
Indeed. I presume shins were being dug. People like kicking each other? They're bad dancers?
I don't know. I think long, long ago, I can barely remember this because I was just a little kid, but there was a TV show called Shindig.
Really?
I think so. And it was sort of like, I think sort of like American Bandstand. It was a dancing show. So,
Huh.
So.
And of course, before that, we had waltz.
Yeah.
And hora. That was a very early one.
Uh-huh.
Let's see. There was another dance. Was it a dance that the Maori did? We saw a clue.
Haka.
A haka. Yeah. That could have been right up there with the with the hora.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been one show, the hora and the haka.
That's true.
Or if they're bad dancers, the hora of the haka.
One funny clue, it was funny for me, 57 across, and this is so dumb, but anyway, it was a rapper who founded Aftermath Entertainment. Like I would know that. I got the last 3 letters as DRE, and I thought, oh, maybe his name's Andre. I'm like,
Mais oui, je suis André, le rappeur.
So I put AN in there, but of course it was Dr. Dre. And it's like, how many times was that in the crossword? And I thought, oh, Andre.
Well, it's...
I mean, he's sort of like the rapper
the
of
legend.
The New York Times crossword. And I'm like...
Him and Lil Nas X shows up a lot. Although not lately. So I started this clue from the front. So I had 53 down. Out of the ordinary was odd. So I had it starting with D, and I saw a rapper, and I thought, well, it's got to be Dr. Dre. Oh. So the trick is to start these things from the front rather than the back.
I guess so. Oh, we never taled about the clue that's under that, which was sort of the
revealer. I was wondering
for the theme. And that was Pixar film whose title suggests how to read 5 answers in this puzzle. And, of course, the answer to that was Inside Out, which is what you had to do. You had to take the inside of the answer out and put it in the front, and then you got the right answer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I guess they really hoped that there had been a movie Inside first, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, that would have worked better, but oh well.
No, this was great. No complaints whatsoever.
Yep, it was a good puzzle.
Yep.
But it did solve very quickly for me. I got it done in 17 minutes, which is kind of fast for a Thursday for me.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did it in about, let's see, I'm not quite sure how long. I think maybe 18 minutes. Uh-huh. So,
because Thursdays, when it's got that kind of gimmick, you got to figure that out, and I don't know, they're just always a little more challenging. And this one was certainly challenging, but didn't really take me too long to fill it out.
There were no rebuses, though.
No, that's right.
That probably sped things up.
Rebuses do take time. They always do.
Because you spend all this time trying to make answers fit that aren't going to fit until you realize, oh, I need a rebus.
And with a rebus, I mean, it's like, that one letter goes in each square. So if there's 5 squares, it's a 5-letter answer. But with rebuses, I mean, it's like you can put 2 letters in a rebus. You can do 5 letters in a rebus. You can put 2 words in a rebus. There's just such a variation there that it makes it a lot more difficult.
I wonder if X-Word Info gathers huge numbers of statistics.
Do they?
I wonder if they know what's the longest rebus. I would like to know the maximum number of letters they tried to cram into one square. Because, I mean, when you're doing this on an app, the font gets to a point at which no one can see it.
Right.
So there must be a limit of like 8 or 10. I bet even 8 would be a major challenge.
Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen one that long, but we've had them with like true, false. We had 2 words. Sure. It could be true if you went one way and it was false. So it was like, we've had those kind of have had like 2, maybe 4 or 5 letter words.
See, I think, though, as a joke and just to tick off the people at Wordplay, they should have, like, rebuses with 15 letters. It's like it would be based on U.S. states, and in one of the squares you had to put the name of the capital.
Oh, I laugh, but someone will probably come up with that.
Well, I just came up with it, and perhaps the author of this crossword, Garrett Chalfin, would like to run with it. Garrett, you have our permission.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
Let's see. One across, they're checked before a show. I immediately thought coats.
Oh.
But it was mics.
Mics, yeah.
Which makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And raincoats in England, I'm like, what do they call those? Macs, M-A-C-S. Mm-hmm. That was one down.
Yeah, short for Macintoshes.
Ah, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I always walk around when it's raining with a computer on my head. It's just like, here's a MacBook Pro, and I'd like to have something expensive and capable of giving me a massive electric shock if it gets wet to carry over my head in a rainstorm.
No, but they do call, there is a coat called the Macintosh.
Right.
And that's short version of it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's probably what the, maybe Steve Jobs borrowed that. Actually, he's probably thinking of Apple and that kind of Macintosh.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I like 2 down, chain restaurant whose name sounds like something a rabbit might say. And I'm like, what does a rabbit say? And anyways, the answer was IHOP.
That's right.
That was very cute.
Mm-hmm. I didn't quite understand number 3 down. Important post at the Post, and it was columnist.
Well, the Post is the newspaper, right?
Right.
I take it that's the Washington Post.
Uh-huh.
And, the columnists are very important.
But but it says important post.
It's a job.
Oh, a post as in a job. Oh, I get it now. Yeah, got it.
Right, yeah. It's
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Right next to that, 4 down, largest city on the Tasman Sea.
I knew that right away.
Did you?
Yep, Sydney.
I was trying to figure out where the Tasman Sea is.
Well, Tasman.
I figured it was Tasmania, but, I looked at the map, and the Tasman Sea is really the Pacific. They're not fooling anybody. It's not like there's these big barriers around it. It's just like Pacific Ocean, but they decided to call it Tasman.
That's right. After the Tasman, right, the explorer, that was sort of a important person in Australian history.
Yeah, he invented the taser.
No.
He didn't?
I don't remember what he did, but...
I'm telling you, he invented the taser.
I think he discovered...
Stand back, it's Tasman.
I think he discovered Australia.
Oh, okay. Well, also in that area, we have the Coral Sea, which is right above the Tasman Sea.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if we have any other seas around there, but again, I think these seas are just putting on airs.
Oh.
But they're just part of the Pacific.
Yep.
Let's see. We had 9 down. That was sort of a blast from the past. A series of unfortunate events villain, Count Olaf.
Oh, yes.
Was it Jim Carrey who played that?
In the movies, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Sort of fun.
Yep. Mm-hmm. I remember that.
And I like the fact we had 7, or let's go with 20 across. Moxie was Spunk.
Right.
And then we had 7 down, go caving, Spelunk.
Spelunk, yes.
So we had
noticed that.
Spunk and Spelunk.
Spunk and Spelunk.
Yeah. Those are the sort of answers that get you into the New York Times crossword, where you can work both of them into the grid like Garrett just did. Mm-hmm. 28 across. Thought this was amusing. Nickname for NBA great Nate Archibald. He was actually 6'1", tiny.
Tiny, yes.
I've noticed wandering around here in northeast Wisconsin, I always feel like I am the shortest person in the room. There's so many tall people around here.
There are a lot of tall people.
I don't know if it's like a Scandinavian Norse sort of thing, and these people all came over from Iceland and stretched as a result.
That's just... there's a lot of different ethnicities in Wisconsin.
They're all tall.
They're all tall, though. Yeah, that's true.
Tiny would feel right at home. I feel like sometimes I think I've just walked into a basketball team meeting because everyone is just like way up there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, there are a lot of tall people here.
Yep. So that's what that good, clean Wisconsin air does for you, I guess.
And water.
Did you know 33 Across Melber on NBC?
Ari Melber. Yes, I did know that.
Ah, okay. A columnist or a...
He has his own show. I can't think what the name of it
I
is.
bet it's the Ari Melber show.
No, I think it's called something else. But yes, he's a very good journalist and yeah.
He probably isn't a columnist. He probably doesn't write stuff like they do in the Post.
No, but yeah, and he is actually Canadian.
Ah, all right.
I think he's the one that's Canadian. Anyway, yeah, Ari Melber. Yeah, I always enjoy. Lots of times he'll sub for. There's a couple of shows on MSNBC I like to listen to, and sometimes he'll sub, and he's always very good, very enlightening.
Okay. Right next to Ari, we had 34 down. No place for fine china. Kids table.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty
true.
Mm-hmm. And we had native Rwandan. 39 down was Hutu.
Hutu, yes.
That took me a bit. Let's see. We had 36 down. 36 down was small amount of LSD, e.g., was microdose.
Microdose.
Thought that was interesting.
Yeah, different. And 43 down, pace, cadence.
Yep.
See that word too often, cadence.
I think if you're like in the biking world, you hear that a whole lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but not outside of it, I think.
Cadence.
The first C of cadence ran into 43 across. Elaborate hairstyle was a coif.
That's right. I put updo.
Oh.
That didn't work too well.
Yeah. I'm not even sure if I would have recognized that. 68 across, starting point was germ. That was a surprise for me.
Yes.
I mean, I know that you talk about the germ of an idea.
Right, exactly.
And that's about the only place I ever hear it used in that context. Otherwise, it's like break out the soap. 48 down, they've got you covered, was roofs.
That's right.
That was sort of cute. And I struggled to remember this. Big name in dental floss, 60 across, was Oral B.
Oral B.
Yeah, it just took me a while to sort of latch onto that. But let's see, 16 across was La Forza del Destino for one. Opera.
That's right.
Have you ever heard or seen La Forza del Destino?
No, I have not.
Let's see.
I don't even know who wrote that.
I can tell you what it means, though.
What?
The force of destiny.
You think?
Well, it is La Forza del Destino. They like to spell it out for the English speakers. Let's not make it too hard for people to understand. Or maybe they have the beautiful musical extravaganza. I don't know. We definitely need to edit that out.
Be funny if it translated to, dinner at Louis or something.
Right. Yeah. That would be very embarrassing for all involved. I like 5 across. I wasn't finished. Also,
yes.
That was sort of cute and unexpected.
Yep.
All in all, a grand crossword by Garrett Chafflin.
Yep.
Or Chalfin, rather, and I think worth 5 squares in the Jam CR scale.
I would say so.
Well done, Garrett.
Yep.
All right, well, that is it for today. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Yep.
Remember, you can always get a hold of us, crosswordpodcast at iCloud.com, or click on the Send Fan Mail link.
Right.
We'll be back again with our cutting-edge analysis of the second hardest crossword of the week, most likely. That would be Friday's crossword tomorrow.
Bye-bye.